In this video, we'll take a look at password policy. Password policies are important and they're defined within an organization to determine things like how long passwords can exist before they need to be changed, how complex passwords need to be, and so on. Here in Windows Server 2012, let's take a look at that in-group policy where we can centrally define password settings for all users in the Active Directory domain. To begin, I'll click on the Start button and I'll type in Group. Now, when the Group Policy Management tool pops up, I'll go ahead and click on that to start it. Now, once we're in the Group Policy Management tool, in the left-hand navigator, I'm going to right-click on the default Domain Policy GPO or Group Policy object, and I'm going to choose Edit. Here within the default domain policy on the left, I'm going to go down under Computer Configuration, so I'm going to expand Policies, then I'm going to expand Windows Settings, and finally under that, I'll open up Security Settings. Now, this is where we're going to see account policies, and if I even expand that, finally it reveals the password policy. If I select that on the right, I see all the individual settings, like enforcing password history. Here it's set to remember the last 24 passwords. So the idea here is we don't let people reuse passwords because that essentially means the same password is in effect for longer periods of time, which reduces security for that user account. Here, the maximum password age is currently set to 42 days. I'm going to set that to 30 so that we require password changes every 30 days for security. I'm going to set the minimum password age to 10 days because I don't want people immediately changing their password to some variation of what they used before because it's easier for them to remember. The minimum password length here, I'm going to bump up to 8 characters for security reasons. I can also ensure that password complexity requirements are enabled, so that we've got to use things like upper and lowercase characters and so on. The other important thing to bear in mind here is that we've done this in the default domain policy. Even though you can build other GPOs in Active Directory that might apply to other organizational units, and it will let you configure the password policy settings, they don't work. So the only way that we can set standard password policy settings for everyone inside an Active Directory domain is by doing it in a domain level policy. It will not work in a GPO linked to an OU, even though it looks like it will. If you test it, it will not. In this video, we learned how to work with the password policy.